Today we are going to talk about the app you all use. So this is the UX UI Hub, is an app created by a designer for designers like ourselves. This app was built with no code, and we are going to talk especially about how did I create this app, so how fast it was for me to go to market. Also, the design thinking process I have been using through the app, because I'm a UX UI designer, you are too, and you probably have created products using this methodology many times, but right now you see how I have used it into my favor. And as well, I have here a part where I'm talking about feedback and validation, which I will send and share with you a very special link at the end of this talk. So Hina is asking, can we switch to on air to ask a question? Definitely you can, totally fine too. Do you have a question that you want to ask right now?
No. It just started. It's just for the future.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. You all feel free to interrupt anytime you want and need. Okay. And if you feel that this talk was in any way valuable to you, be free to also do a print screen, a share on your social network, tag me. I would love to receive feedback at any time we are doing a hub meet, not just with myself, but also with other guests and the invited that we have time to time. Let's talk about the phases of product. I would guess that everyone in the call are UX UI designers or related to product. Here you can see the phases of a product. We go from idea to the market. We go through doing prototype, we also test, and then we deliver most of the time as designers these to the development team. Then we publish the product and we deliver to the market team to do the market miracle, right? To get other people interested in this product. When you are talking about development, the normal route is to use traditional code. And in traditional code, what that means is that an app that's very simple can take from 7 to 12 months to be built. And we all know there are not a lot of simple apps out there that are really good enough for people to download and use every day. So we are talking here about much longer times. But what I am want to bring to you today is that you as a designer are already doing 70% of the whole product idea. So we are getting into the part where we test, and now you could develop without code or without knowing how to code. And this same app that's very simple, that can be built in 7 to 12 months using code, could be built in 4 to 8 weeks, if not much less, using no code. What is the process behind that, right? Here you see there is a huge spectrum of no-code tools today, and you probably have used already some. We have WordPress for drag and drop websites. That is considered one of the first no-code tools out there. You also could say Excel is also a no-code tool. It's delivering you a result. But when talking about products, we have now a portion of these products that really enhance your data. So you can use a Google spreadsheet or, for example, a JSON file. You would need to understand a little bit, but you also have Airtable. That is a Google spreadsheet on steroids. You have Sano for more complex applications. Then you have also a part of these apps or part of these no-code products are also related to automation. So what they are doing is really helping business to find a way to automate processes. Like, for example, your user registered an account. So then they received an email, and this email has this content. When they lose their password, there has this other content. All of these can be done through automations, like email automations, triggers. So there are a bunch of products that also do this. Most of the time, people use Zapier or Maker, but you can see here there are a lot of them. There are also design, right? Like who here, probably everyone has used or have heard of Canva. Canva.com, it's a very simple tool to use. It's online. It's try to help people that don't know design to use those functionalities of drag and drop and create new templates and things like that. And we use Figma. It's also a no-code tool. We are not creating code in order to use it. We use Figma to create our designs, to create the wireframes, to go high fidelity. That is all without coding. And you can see here a lot of other tools that do other things too. Like, for example, Typeform does forms like a Google Forms also do. So there are several tools doing the same job, but they are doing it slightly different too. And there are intersections. You see here that they are connecting patterns, like sometimes data with automation, sometimes design with automation, sometimes design, data, and automation. So which tool is the best for you? It really depends on what you are trying to achieve or what you are trying to deliver to your customer or to the company you work for. What do you need to create? I am here to talk with you about the UX UI Hub. And I am advocating for no code, but I want you to understand that my career started as a graphic designer. Then I became a web designer. I actually learned how to code. And then I became a UX UI designer when UX UI design didn't even exist. The name was not there yet. So I have been going through these phases of web and product development for a really long time, more than 25 years. And I ended up learning about no code apps in 2020 when I start to build my first app and learning about it. The biggest thing I want you to understand is that as a designer and developer, when I talk about no code, is that I don't have anything against you learning how to code. I even think if you actually enjoy coding, that's a great skill to have. But the point is that if you don't like coding or if you don't want to have the hassle of learning how to do it, just try to find a no-code tool that help you. So in my case, I learned in 2020 that I could build native apps, something I could never build before. I didn't learn Objective-C or right now it's Swift. I didn't learn nothing of that to create my apps. I just really went with the flow. I learned that I could build an app on top of Figma, and I was like, wow, so I really need to learn this. And that's what I did. And since then, I am helping business really quickly turn their ideas into functional products. And I am doing this as a team of one. So I am the only one creating branding, doing the whole application, wireframe, and also delivering the end product, which really says to you that you can do that yourself too. It's just a matter of wishing to do that and learning, of course. I am also helping founders to create their own products. Sometimes they don't really want someone to build it for them, but they want mentorship. So I'm accompanying those founders that want mentorship to build their own products with their own knowledge, the way they want to build it. And by the end, I am also helping designers, not just through the UX UI Hub, but also with mentorship. I mentor at U Springboard. Today, I have mentored at the IDF and also at Udacity. And what I do today is really to help my mentees to see the world or to foresee what's coming and helping them really scale up as quick as possible. Here you can see what is the stack I use today to build not just the UX UI Hub, but many other apps I built. Today I have 21 apps published. In 3 years, that's quite a number. And you can see that Figma is there. It's where everything starts. And if you are a designer, which I hope you are, and I guess you are since you are here, you have already 70% of the skills necessary if you know how to use Figma, if you know how to create a wireframe, to create a high fidelity file, if you know how to name your layers. This I explain more later. Then there is Bravo. Bravo is where the magic happens. So I will talk about it in a minute. Then there is Airtable. Airtable is where the data for the app is based. So today, when you add anything to the hub, or when you click things, or when you add your profile, edit your profile, all that data is on an Airtable database. That is really similar to a Google spreadsheet. And I use Tally for all those recommendations. You can recommend events. You can also create your profile. It's also a Tally form. You can also recommend resources or give me feedback. All of that is on Tally. And Bravo is where all the magic happens. It's the central piece. Bravo is where the Figma file you have becomes into a real app. It's where you make it, swipe to the left, to the right, or where a click actually gets an action. So all of this is developed on Bravo, where you could also create your free account and start to play with. So let's go for the first topic today. How you do speech to the market using no-code tools. So let's review. In 5 steps, how I created an app. I go to an idea, then I create a prototype on Figma, I test the app, I add data from Airtable, and I publish the app. So what's the story behind the UX UI Hub? Meet here Alex. Alex is one of my connections on LinkedIn. Today he's really focused on healthcare, and he is creating a newsletter too for people that are doing or focusing on healthcare as designers. And in there, what happens is that I saw that he was creating a newsletter that at the time, like 3 years ago, you can see on green screen, was called UX Events Weekly. People really enjoyed it. They really react to it. They reposted it. They really enjoyed this post because someone was doing this list of events. Even I did enjoy that. So what I did was I wrote Alex and I said, like, Alex, I want to build a different app right now. And I really love the idea to build something like the UX events app. And we jumped on a call. It was like a 30-minute call, and he loved the idea. And he said to me, like, let's go. So he gave me a green light. And the second step was, okay, let me create a prototype. You can see how the app looks more or less right now in my Figma file. And this area where you see it dashed in colors, it is how the app started. It was a very simple app. It was simply a list of events, nothing else. So this is how the app started, and it evolved during the time to grow at the size that you see the file now, which doesn't really seem so big for how much you can do inside the app. So this is the app. There is the prototype. Then I went to the Bravo. Like you see here, you see a screen that's current, that we see the events, you see your name. Hey, Carla, or hey, Valeria, when you are entering your app. Then you see the list of events, you have some banners and so on. And I have added to my Figma file what I call Bravo tags. These Bravo tags are these little snippets that are between brackets. For example, transition is stamped or status bar dark. Each of those tags make the app behave like a native product, like how you use other products. So then I do that on Figma and I import this file to Bravo Studio. And I start testing and iterating on my own phone and the Figma file. So it is really live. You can see it working on your phone. If you have never seen this, you can really register to a webinar. How you do at UXL, how you do this steps by step to create a very simple app that will be events in December. Later on, I can send the link. Well, the link for sure will be also at the UX UI hub. After that, I bind my data. So I have a database of Airtable, right? So I use the API, and using the API, I say to each part, each of those tags, what type of content it is. How you say? Just 1 second. Yeah. I say to it what type of data is coming. So in this case here, I have an image that's featured, and I get from the database a list that's called hot that I want to show the featured image. I also name that in the database this way. And what you do later is to share that with other users. They can test your app already on their phones, even if it's not in the App Store and Play Store. You can do that. And then you publish. Here you can see the print screen of how it looked for the first app. This was the app that Alex really he has done all the database and everything. I publish it with the same file on the App Store and Play Store. Of course, you have to have an account on the Play Store and Google Play Store as a developer, but it's very simple to set up. So in 2021, when I started UX UI Hub, that was then UX events, I went from idea, I did create a prototype, I did debug, I launched the first version, and all of this in 22 hours and 53 minutes. In less than part-time week, I could build and launch the first version of this product for you to see how quick things can be. This includes the 30-minute call I had with Alex, the 1 hour I had to see his Airtable, how it was structured to restructure the app, 16 hours I did to play with the design of the app, and also a little bit about marketing and publishing the app in websites like Product Hunt, and also the image for the App Store and Play Store that took about 4 hours and 50. And I published it on Product Hunt. And just 5 people did like the product. Was I discouraged by that? Not at all. Like, I didn't do anything else. I didn't market it. I didn't put any ads, anything. I just added there. People found it valuable. And that was it. I had something to my portfolio, which was the intention of the product and something that people actually wanted, because I saw in these posts that a lot of people really love the idea to see the events every week. From that to 32 months later on, which I did really not spend a lot of time in this app, it grew from 0 to 1,160 downloads. 986 on the App Store and 174 on the Play Store. So I just let it there. And people start to download without me doing anything. People found it on the App Store, on the Play Store, probably said to other people about it. And it was a very simple list of events. But when I reached 1,000 download, more than 1,000 downloads, I thought, okay, so I do have a product people want, right? So how can I improve that? How can I get improved to be a market fit? It's exactly what we do with any other product that we create for our customers or for the companies we work. We start again. We empathize with our users. We define what's important for them. We ideate what we can be built. We prototype, we test, we implement, and we iterate. So this is a cycle that you always do for any product. If it wasn't like this, as designers, we would not have a lot of work around, right? Because we would do the product once and that's it. That's done. But no. So in 2022, I decided, okay, I spoke with Alex. The app was kind of abandoned. He was kind of focused on something else already. And he told me, Carla, I don't have time for it. So I said, okay, that's totally fine. So you take ownership of the app. And then in 2022, it was exactly what I did. I spent just 4.5 hours on this new version. So I did update the SDK. This was something at the App Store and Play Store actually wanted. I also updated the descriptions of the events. I also did fix some design issues, added app notifications. Sometimes I could send notifications to the users, and I changed the name. Since I am a mentor of UX UI designers and I just not focus only on UX, I thought the new name should be UX UI events. And then I started to add events from UX UI and not simply for UX. So I took ownership of the app. From 2022 until November of 23, what happened was I started to test and iterate the app almost like a playground. So I did publish a new version. I created a new bundle, fixing some bugs that were there. I also created a landing page that didn't exist before. Did some tests with recommendations, with forms and things like that, like a tally forms is in the end the one I keep using. I also created a new design. So it was a little bit different, but not super different, but it could show on the design that was a little bit different. And I started to add new events week by week. Now, Alex is not really adding anything to this database. So I had to do the research. I had to create the image for the events. I also had to verify the links and everything. And for 11 months, what I used was like about 20 hours. So it was really not complicated product, like a couple of hours a month I would spend doing this, and that was it. That was fine. Then I realized for more people to come to the UX UI Hub, I really wanted to make this MVP or minimal viable product into a minimal lovable product. Really go beyond like a functionality, have more to the user, have things that they actually want, and also have them, the ones that come to stay and also see that they have things there for them. Also solve a problem, not just the ones for the events, but other things that they might have a problem. So these really ensure that the users keep going to the app and also bring others to the app. And for that, I didn't do it alone. Remember, I am a mentor. And what I did was that some mentees of mine, when they finish their bootcamp, they really need real world experience. And when they needed that real world experience, what I did was to offer them the possibility to play with research and also with design or doing wireframes and testing. And by that, I did have a small team helping me grow and iterate the app. You can see here, Gabriela and Peggy, they did help me with the new functionalities that the app have, like, for example, Connect, job boards, also resources. Katerina helped me with a new areas for the website that is now live. Sebastian helped me adding content. This is a task that I have to keep doing every week. Kel also helped me with a new research for a new resources area, which is not live yet. So in December 23, when Peggy and Gabriela helped me with this research, this is what the design came to. Now you see that I spent a bunch of time here, 60 hours to create a new updated version that has Connect, that has your profile for you to connect with other designers, has jobs, resources. You also have the possibility to log in or not. I really hate those apps that make you create an account before you know if you want. And I also launched it on Product Hunt. It took me like about 1 hour and I got 25 upvotes. Much better than the first times, like 5 times more. It is too much? No, could be better. But still, it's improving, slowly, but improving. And I did something I did not do before. So I did market. This version of the website is much better than any other. People find the website from there too. I also created a newsletter, and this has been spreading the word about the hub. 7 months, we had user interviews, and these were why we created those areas. You see, they were asking about educational resources, networking opportunities, and also help with the job search. And these helped the app go from 36 downloads a month to 140. So you can see here that the Play Store and the App Store were growing much faster. And now what is going on is a real continuous validation. And I am listening to feedback, and you can help that too. In 2024, in this year that we are, I spent about 100 hours in the app until probably this is until June. So I'm giving you numbers from June until June now, the 6 first months of the year. I was mainly adding content and also creating the newsletter. I also created some new features like experts that you see monthly recommendations from experts that you'll be even next week. You see new banners, and you see also a new session for discounts, which other designers that are creating courses or so on are giving discounts for you that you are designers and want to do a course or so on. And weekly, I spend about 3 hours in this product, creating content and creating the newsletter. So I also added a little analytics that I can know that you guys are really clicking on. So most of the clicks you can see here are in job boards, events, and books. And because of that, because of this little system I have implemented, I am having a little bit better analysis of the results. And the total number of users grew by 5.7% in the month of June. So now you can see here that even most of designers are also on the App Store with 114 downloads in June. What's next for the UX UI Hub app is really improving this resource area, adding audiobooks, podcasts, and starting to monetize the product with banners. If you have other suggestions or really lack some features or things you want to see, please let me know. I will add now to the chat a link of a survey. This survey is really special because it's done with AI. It's called Convo. It is an interactive survey and you actually give some questions. It's open-ended, but the AI listen to your voice and give you more questions based on your answers. So it's really interesting for you as designers also to try it. And people who try and add their email, you get from me a special email with a link for them to try for 2 weeks for free. This app is still, or this product is still not available to the market. So you'll be the first one to try something really different. I just added it to the chat. So let's recap. We talked about speed to market using no code, how to create it in 5 steps, really simple, where we designers have 4 of these steps already very done. Then we talked about design thinking, the process we use for every product we create, how we use this after have publish the product. So I didn't do research before. I did after I have launched and create a product that people wanted, and how to iterate the product based on feedback and validation. That's also what I'm seeking right now with you all. I know our time is limited. So my question for you is really, what are you going to build now that you know that this is possible? If you didn't know that this app was no code, you just learned about it. And if you want to learn more about no code and how to build this, let me know, because I can create more of these events also to teach you more about how things work. Thank you all for coming.